Okay, we're going to try to do an interesting experiment here today. I just took this sprouted pea out of the germination box in there where it's 75 degrees all the time. And we're going to see how well it grows or doesn't grow in the environment here in this greenhouse. Now this greenhouse, it's about 70 degrees in here right now, but at night it still gets sometimes down below freezing. So we'll see how that grows. Now the reason we're looking at this is because all along here, these grow beds here have been planted with peas, and these were planted well before this one was. But this was in a heated grow box, or a heated germination box, so that's why it's germinated so much more quickly than these. But we're going to see who grows better, or whether this one just kind of dies out or something. But we'll keep track of this one and see how it goes. Okay, it's the 24th of January, and we just put a couple more of these sprouted peas. I think it was this one and this one. And this is the one we already put in. Anyway, we'll see how these go. Now notice the original one that I put in here. I've enlarged it a bit. And compare it to a couple of days later when I put the other two in. And you can see how much it's grown just being in the greenhouse. So it's growing quite well, even though it gets very cold at night. There's still pretty good growth during the day. But a couple of days later, I just had to face the facts. The greenhouse planted peas were just not germinating. I guess it was still just too cold overnight in the greenhouse for them to germinate, even though during the day it was quite warm. Well, after about a week or more, these don't seem to be germinating, so I'm going to take them out and put them in the germination box, and hopefully the peas here will start to germinate, or they might just be kind of rotting away in there because they've been in there so long and it's kind of cold in here. So I'm going to try to give them one more chance, put them in the germination box where it's nice and warm, give them about 3-4 days, and if they're not starting to germinate, we'll put some more seeds in and we'll try it again. Well, let me explain the reason why I'm doing this. It's because if you look at these were planted after the ones in here that I'm removing were planted. But take a look. Let me lift this raft up and get a closer look at this. If that light isn't, but you see they're growing very nicely. And keep in mind these were germinated or planted after the other ones were. And here's some more that we took out of the germination box, and as you can see, they've been in here for a few days and they're doing all right. So the point is these were germinated a long time before, well, several days before, and these here that we put straight out in here, see there's a few more left over here that I haven't removed yet, but they're not showing any signs of germinating yet. And so what we're going to do is put them in that grow box like I said, and give them some warmth and see if they'll germinate. And if they won't, if it's too late, if they've all rotted away already, we'll plant some new ones, start over again with those. Okay, we've got them all removed from the greenhouse and placed here in this other grow box. And we'll have to see, now the temperature here is 80 degrees. I'll have to tweak that a little bit with the thermometer, the thermostat. But here they are. These have all been taken out of the greenhouse. And we're going to let them sit in here for, maybe 3-4 days. And if they don't show any signs of germinating, that will mean that the seeds are either duds or they have rotted too much and they're just not viable anymore. And if that happens, we'll just start them over again and leave them in this grow box. Well, it's been 2 weeks since I took these grow pots out of here that had peas in them that I was trying to germinate them right here in the greenhouse while it gets very cold at night. If you remember, I took them back in there to the other little greenhouse where the germination box is to just see if they would germinate. And, well, bottom line is they did not germinate. They just rotted away. So those are gone. So I guess the lesson from that, the takeaway from that is the other ones here I'm going to show you in a second germinated great out there. And I put them in here when it's still cold at night. It gets below freezing sometimes. And they did fine. So I guess For germination, if it gets really cold, peas don't like to germinate, or you can have trouble. But once they get germinated, they do fine, even if it is cold. But they seem to have problems germinating if it is really cold. But over here on this side, I want to show you the peas that I did germinate in that nice little heated box over there. Now these are the latest ones. I've been pulling them out slowly as they start peeking their heads up. As you can see, there's some here. And then over here, I've got quite a collection over here. This is full from here down, all the way down. And I'll just pan that. But these are all nicely, there was a nice big one right there, but they germinated all in that germination box and were transported out here. And just to give them a start in the germination box and let them come out here, even though it was cold, like I said. You can see the temperature thermometer, that's almost 80 degrees in here right now, but it gets down below freezing here at night, every night still. But even at that, you know, the peas don't mind if it gets freezing too much. But I guess they might have problems germinating, or at least I did. But once they get started, you can put them out here and they do just fine.